Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It was the two best teams in the competition locking horns yesterday, and they delivered an epic with Sydney surviving a scare. Port came hard and late, but Buddy was the answer in the end, Shane Crawford.
Yeah, a 4-point victory, 41,313 people, 14-14-98, 13-16-94. What a marvellous game. Franklin was good. Goods was very good early. Port Adelaide really came at the Swans, and they stood up, the Swans, when the pressure was really applied. And one man who's been fantastic, especially over the last couple of months, Dan Hanbury, thanks for joining us. Well done, and what a wonderful win.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having us. Yeah, it was a super win.
How'd you pull up? Because it was very physical, lots of hard running. So how'd you pull up after such a match?
I mean, the rest of the body sort of generally sore. Obviously, I rolled my ankle there late in the fourth quarter, so that's a little bit sore this morning. But besides that, you know, it's always good when you have a win, and makes the body feel a lot easier the next day.
Just to clear that up, did you miss any game time with that ankle, Dan?
Oh, I think I missed about 10 or 15 minutes, I think.
Ongoing into the next week, or you'll be okay?
Oh, so I thought you said you didn't miss any game time in the game, but next week I'm not sure. We'll get scans today, and we'll play it by ear. So I'll find out tomorrow.
Hey, how exciting was it, Dan? Packed house yesterday, and Buddy Franklin turned it on. He was amazing. He just turned the game on its head in that last quarter, and it's what you got him there for. Yeah, it was an incredible performance by him. Obviously, the rest of the team played really well, but he stepped up in that second half, and he was a bit wayward in the first half. But to be able to produce what he did in the second half was unbelievable for us, and especially in front of 41,000 fans, which I think was the second or third biggest crowd since '97. So amazing day for the footy club, and certainly Buddy had a good second half, and yeah, it was great to get the win.
You got off to a good start. Dan Hanbury, not Dan Hanbury, Kieran Jack in his 150th got you started, which was a perfect way to get going. And it was very important to start well against Port, because you know that they can certainly finish games off.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously 2 games clear on the top of the ladder for a reason. They've got a really quality team now in there, but they're also extremely hard working in their midfield. I thought probably were on top of us throughout the day, and probably finished on top of us at the end of the day. And yeah, they certainly run really hard, and they're a good sort of well-drilled unit. And we knew that you know, to have any chance in the game, we had to start well, and we were able to do that, which was pleasing.
Adam Goods had a real impact in the first half, kicked 3 goals, didn't have a lot of the footy, but when he got it, he just did some wonderful things. Here we see him just centering the ball, and it goes straight through the middle. So it must be nice to have players like that floating through your forward line. Here he is again.
Oh, it's sensational to have Goods here, you know, back up and running. He obviously been well documented. He missed a fair bit of time with that knee, and we weren't sure if he'd get back or not, but he really took his time in the pre-season to get his body back in one piece, and to see him out there now playing and doing the things he's still doing at 34, 35 is quite remarkable, really. And you know, we hope for him that he keeps his body well, and you know, he can keep playing the sort of footy that he's producing at the moment.
Hey Dan, you've now won 8 games in a row. Do you believe you're more powerful as a side now than you were in your premiership year?
I think we've changed a little bit. I think we've got you know, some more depth. Obviously, Buddy's come in, but our midfield in Luke Parker and Ben McGlynn and Harry Cunningham and these guys that now give us so much depth. And you know, if there's 2 or 3 guys down on the day, we know there's a few more guys that can step up. So you know, it's important to have that, and we think that whether or not we're more powerful, and I'm not too sure. Certainly, the size changed, but you know, fundamentally, all the stuff that we focus on week to week hasn't really changed, so to speak.
Dan, your last 2 months has been elite after you started a little bit slower than you'd normally expect for your season. What was the turnaround for you in getting back to being one of the very, very elite players of the competition?
Yeah, I think the first month I probably wasn't working hard enough. You know, both around the contest, sort of winning my own ball. I probably was just watching the footy a little bit, and I probably wasn't working hard. You know, when the ball left my area, so it was pretty basic for me, really. And just got back to the training track, try to work a little bit harder. You know, watch some vision about what I need to work on with some coaches and players, and yeah, and basically just work a bit harder. Sometimes you can kind of, I suppose, not that you mean to, you don't want to sort of go through the motions, but sometimes you can finish a game and think, geez, I went through the motions a bit here, and you know, not that you're going to a game wanting to do that, but for whatever reason, you sometimes just need a bit of a, you know, hit between the eyes and get a bit of feedback from your teammates and your coaches, and then you go back and you work hard and you try and change it. So obviously I've been able to, you know, do that over the last couple of months, and you know, over yesterday I was probably shut down a bit, which was disappointing.
You talked about feedback from your coaches. It was reported down here that you had feedback from the footy club about your attitude earlier in the year. I've heard you say since it was last year. Is it just a case of having to grow up? And what have you had to work on to make yourself the better elite player and person that you are now?
Well, to be honest with you, it was merely just a chat, not so much on changing attitude, more so just to make sure that I was focusing on footy and all that sort of stuff, and how my stuff outside of footy was going. And it's more general chats that clubs and also Dean Moore and these sort of guys and Dennis Carroll have with all our players, whether it be young or old. So it was sort of beat up to be more than what it actually was, and really it was all making sure that preparing well, stuff off the field from uni and outside stuff was on track, and which it is. So now it's just about consistently training well and playing well week in, week out.
Surprise guest in the rooms after the game, former Prime Minister Bob Hawke.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was having a chat to Joey Kennedy about the game, and then all of a sudden he's yelled out, "Oh, there's Bob Hawke in the room." So it was pretty funny to see him, and of course he's gone straight to Buddy and gave everyone else nothing. So that's disappointing.
We're going to have a look at the votes, Bill, and I gave Buddy Franklin best on ground.
Good.
His impact in that second half was amazing. Kicked 2 unbelievable games. Robbie Gray, his impact when he went through the middle, his run and carry, he's having a super season.
A lot of
And
Port
he's got
Adelaide
that flexibility. Yep. The big ruckman was just sensational. Gave 40 tap outs, and I reckon 50% to advantage, and Ebert had 40 touches. I just felt that Port just kept coming. When you look from the Sydney point of view, Melcheski, McVeigh, Heath Grundy was very good. He's had a nice little patch at the moment too, Heath Grundy.
Yeah, he has. Obviously, our defenders were under siege a little bit in that last quarter yesterday, and I thought they stood up really well. I think the back line for us over the last couple of years have been a really strong unit, and they continue to be pretty strong. And it's important that Reg and Mal and T and these guys work together, and especially when Port Adelaide are really coming hard on us in the last quarter, and it was great for them to stand up yesterday.
Dan, well done. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, guys.
Dan Hanbury from the Sydney Swans, one of the best players in the competition.